when I was like, I'm going to stop listening to the news. All right, I'm going to stop taking somebody else's problems and making my own. I'm going to stop fearing making moves. I'm going to stop listening to the average agent that says it's famine and fury. Welcome to another episode of Mindset Mastery. I'm your host, AZ Araujo, and I'm feeling good. And let me go ahead and send this final email to remind individuals. I think today is an important message. I mean, especially after a weekend of all this fear tactics, right, that we're getting of this deadly virus that we got, the coronavirus, and how it's going to kill you and how it's going to debacle the economy, the way it's going to bring us down, right? And I think it's hard to avoid. It's hard to avoid this news. You know, I'm trying to avoid talking about it, but I'm getting phone calls on a daily from different agents, from different individuals, just trying to ask me, you know, or asking me simple questions like, dude, I'm a little scared. Is this okay? And one of the things I want to tell you is like, it's okay to have this fear, right, of what might happen. But it's not okay to dwell on it. Because when we're in a place of shutting down, we shut down great ideas. We shut down opportunities. And we start thinking about holding on to what we have. And, you know, this is something that I think we've all experienced. And we forget, as humans, we forget where we've been, right? The obstacles that we have overcome. And the things that really were meant to shut you down, but somehow you prevailed. And this is something that now, with this pandemic, as they're calling it, it feels like it's so real, right? Like you can catch it and die from it. And that's the way they're pretty much like giving us the news. It's like if you catch it, it's a deadly virus, you're going to die. And one of the things that I think we all need to do, and to piggyback off my good friend, Dr. Boyd, is we have to use common sense. Understand that if you catch it, you're not likely to die. Okay, it's not a cancer. It's not one of these deadly diseases. It's something that your body can very much fight. But understand that you can weaken your immune system by stressing out that it is going to get you, right? That somehow you're going to catch it. And if you look at the statistics, it like if you look at the news, it sounds like everyone has it. We're really at risk. But if you look at the statistics, and correct me if I'm wrong, I went out there and I started researching how many cases in Phoenix, and I think there's like 12. There's millions of people here, and we have 12 cases. And I started thinking like, how is this debacling our economy? And I'm not saying this is happening right now, but we're taking the precautions, right? And it's because we're hearing all this. We're so connected online that we're taking somebody else's issues and making it ours. We're taking somebody else's deaths, right? 4,000 out of 7 billion people. The deaths from China, we're taking the deaths from Italy, we're taking the deaths from Africa. I mean, we're taking all these deaths and we're making it ours. And it's like, it's very likely to happen here. And then you go into these forums, and I'm going to tell you something. I need you to really think about this. It's real easy to consume all this negativity. It's real easy to succumb and say, I'm going to take it easy. And taking all this negativity, I need you to combat that by doing things that bring in positivity, where you open yourself up, where you allow the positive things to enter your mind and your body and your soul. Because when you're shutting down through this negativity, it's going to omit the opportunities that are before you. The same opportunities of agents last week. I know at least one agent, and only because I just talked to him. He had like 6 escrows last week. But if you look at the forums, on the real estate forums, which I stay away from, okay? And every once in a while I get sucked in and I'm like, oh my God, what the hell am I doing? Like, stop the notifications for this shit. You know, I'm out of some of these groups. Because just like very much we're trying to take the deaths from other countries, we try to take the results from other people and make it our own. My open house didn't go well. So we try to take that as our own experience when, in fact, it may not have been. Oh, there's no buyers are canceling. Sellers are not wanting to list. Is that really your experience, or is that somebody else's experience? We got to be very aware, cognizant on what we're trying to take as our own experience. And when we look at the statistics and when we look at the overall likelihood of being affected by this, you're more likely to get run over by a car today. But fear is paralyzing many. I had somebody say, well, the streets are empty, AZ. Well, it's spring break. Like, don't make this a bigger issue than what it is. Your job is to continue to move forward on what would empower you, not shut you down. Taking care of yourself, that will empower you. Taking care of your mind, what you let in, the positivity. And I'm going to go over 3 things today that you can do to make sure that you prevail after this, because we've all been through this. There's been remember the Y2K fear? In the year 2000, when the computers that man built, when they're unable to tell that, the year 2000 is going to put everything in disarray. It's going to see it as the year 1900, and everything's going to go down the tubes. The entire economy, everything's going to fall apart. The year 2000 came and went, and we're like, God damn it. There's a bunch of people with caseloads of water, caseloads of toilet paper. Like, this is not new, right? These fear tactics. And then we went through the dot-com bubble. Remember that? I was young. I was maybe in my early 20s. Dot-com bubble. And then the housing bubble. And then the Ebola virus scare. And then, there's so many examples of things that scared us and paralyzed us. But there was this few group of individuals that knew that this will all pass. And those are the individuals that were able to see opportunity while everyone was shuddering and had their tails between their legs. And it's going to happen very much in this industry. There's going to be a lot of negativity. And it's usually those that are non-producers. So as you start taking somebody else's experience as your own, find out what kind of producer they are. And odds are, they're not where you want to be. Because you know what a producer's doing right now? They're doing what I'm doing right now. They're showing up. They're getting up and taking care of themselves, just like I did. They're drinking the green smoothies. They're investing in themselves. As opposed to waking up and going to bed with all these fear tactics of how you're going to get, die from a disease that we have a total of 12 cases here in Arizona. And the beautiful thing, and the thing we have to think about this, it's not the beautiful thing. They don't talk about the survivors. Remember that whole thing with the cruise ship? They had hundreds of people quarantined into a cruise ship. It didn't mean 100 plus deaths. Hundreds of people died. They recovered. And it's unfortunate what I'm seeing. It's like now, these things that we hear gain momentum really quick. It's not just the media. I hear a lot of people blaming the media. It's individuals that have no reason or have no experience in the medical field, including myself, right? That just start talking about the what ifs. What might happen? What's going to happen? And running out of toilet paper is not an indicator of things going to fall apart. It's just a few individuals that went out there and were looking out for themselves first and foremost, and part of them was like gluttony, right? Overdoing it and over panicking and just looking out for themselves for 6 months, 8 months, a year, leaving a lot of other people, panicking. And there's a lot of opportunities. Opportunists that go out there and clear out the shelves so they can make money. But every day, if you go to the grocery store, they're restocking. They're just a little behind the demand. But it doesn't mean famine. It does not mean that. We have clean water. We have food readily available. Uber is making a killing. Uber is making a killing. So there's going to be people, realtors right now, that are going to be making a killing because they're not succumbing to the fears. You have to do what you have full control of, is taking care of yourself and investing in yourself. That's all we can do. And these very feelings, like I talked about in the sales meeting, I remember having when we did have the housing bubble, where I had clients, listen to this. I want you to pay close attention to this. Where I had clients deliberately, not because they had to, but because of the fear tactics, because of what others were experiencing, they too did it. They would stop making their mortgage payments, making the situation worse. Not because they had a hardship, not because they lost their job, but because everyone else was doing it. Little did they see the ramifications of doing that. They killed their credit. They stressed their household out. They had to move into a little apartment owned by someone else. There was no real hardship, but they took somebody else's experience as their own. And it wasn't just one client. It seemed like it was the vast majority, because not everybody lost their jobs. But all of a sudden, they stopped paying their mortgage. And what could have been easily corrected became a housing pandemic, making things worse. They made things worse for themselves. They never had the security of a home at that point. They were moving from rental to rental. They made a bigger problem for themselves. And because they were now in reparation mode, trying to get things fixed, they couldn't be on opportunity mode like I was. Now, did I succumb to this? Yes, I did. Man, when things hit, they hit hard. They hit hard. And it took me a couple months, but I refused to stay there. Because I know the fear of shutting down creates situations that are far worse for all of us. When I was like, I'm going to stop listening to the news. All right, I'm going to stop taking somebody else's problems and making my own. I'm going to stop fearing making moves. I'm going to stop listening to the average agent that says it's famine and fury. There's got to be a way. I had to learn new skill sets. During a time everyone was shutting down, I can't figure this out. What am I going to do? I invested in myself by learning new skill sets, and it was very frustrating. I remember the first time I picked up this thing called the BPO, broker price opinion. It took me 3 hours to complete it. It was so frustrating. And it was a defining moment. Because me learning these skill sets didn't guarantee a damn thing. Little did I know it was going to result into thousands of houses sold. Thousands. Over 3,000 homes sold during that time period. Guess who did that? I did. Because I decided to invest in my skill sets. It was frustrating. And I remember my daughter, little Abigail, she's 15 now. She was probably like 4 at the time, three or 4. And I was like 3 hours into this thing. And it was in the middle of the night. And she's crawling all over me. She's on the back, on my back, trying to play with me as I'm trying to figure this out. Like, I'm stressed out. I have no money coming in. Everyone's saying that, we're all going to suffer. It's over for all of us. And she's there, has no idea. And maybe she did. Maybe that's why she was trying to make me happy, right? She was crawling all over me, being real cute. And kids are smarter than we give them credit for. Like, oh man, they can feel our fears. They can feel our stresses. But I was too caught up. And I remember I put her down, and she starts walking, and she disconnects my computer. All that hard work that I was putting in, I lost it. And I swear, I can't tell you that I didn't. I swear I broke down. The frustrations of it all, the stress of it all. I broke down, and I was just like, oh my God, I can't. What the hell's happening here? And the thought of having to start all over again. That was the least of my worries. If you mess things up and you have to start over again, just start over again. But I remember I shut down and didn't want to do it. Went to bed, didn't want to do it. I think I delayed it a couple days. And I said, fuck it, I'm going for it. And because I decided to move forward, because I was trying to overcome the status quo, my status quo, of course there was going to be resistance. Of course there was going to be an opposite and equal reaction. I'm trying to do something better for myself. And I'm so glad I did. Because learning these skill sets that took hours, many mistakes, many hours researching these asset management companies and submitting my application and doing BPO after BPO, getting paid $25 for a 3-hour job over and over and over and not getting one asset. But I wasn't listening to the minions that were saying there's no possibility of making anything happen right now. I listened to the few that said, hey, there's an opportunity here. I listened to the small fraction of the population. You're listening to the media. You're listening to the vast majority of people that can't even create anything significant for themselves. And you're buying into it. And it's easy to do so. But I listened to that fraction. And they're like, it's out here. There's opportunity here. BPO after BPO, weeks. Upon weeks of doing this. And then finally, I remember my first assignment. And I'll tell you what, it stressed me out because I didn't know what they wanted. And I was stumbling through this. And next thing you know, they said, you have to put up your own money to fix this property so we can resell it. I'm like, well, where am I going to get this? I'm broke. And I could have gave up there. I could have gave up with all those BPOs and not getting any results. I could have given up so many times and succumbed to what the sheep, the average person, was thinking. But I kept going. Stumbled through it. I got it done. I had to borrow money. I had to max out my credit cards. Then I got my next assignment, and then my next assignment. And I had to wait 45 to 60 days to get reimbursed for the money I'm putting into these properties. And people all around me, these REOs, the banks are taking advantage of you. You don't want to do them. I was like, well, the hell I don't. And because I was able to prevail, because I chose not to give up and succumb to the noise of the sheep, I came out as one of the top REO listings in the entire state. Right here. This guy right here. And the dividends are still paying to this day. I still have properties. To this day. And it takes courage. It takes your ability to understand that, hey, listen, this is not the end of the world. This is where you need to reinvest in yourself, reinvest in your skill sets, in your systems. Hone in on your marketing skills. Continue to put out content. Right? And you'll get those naysayers. You shouldn't be talking. You're trying to sell when everyone is panicking. This is not the right time to do so. The hell it isn't. Like, this is removing a lot of your competition. And this is the importance of being in a place where you can thrive, where you can be fed positivity. Because most agents are on an island all by themselves. And they'll worry themselves into oblivion. I'm telling you, this is where we start. Because at the end of the day, you got to understand one thing. There's people that are going to need to buy, and there's people that need to sell, whatever industry you're in. People need to buy, and people need to sell. So it's your job to go find those people. Because the last thing you want to do is sit on your hands and wish you could have done something different. This is your time. You wanted to get an advantage over your competition? Well, thank this virus. It's not a cancer. It's not a death sentence. Unfortunately, it's been made bigger than what it truly is. So here are some things that you can do. And then if you have any thoughts that are coming to mind, please share them with me. But this is not the time to shut down, okay, guys? Trust me on this. Trust me on this. All right, number 1, feed positivity into your world, into your mind, into your soul, into your body. Take care of yourself, right? So easy to get caught up on Facebook, on social media, on Apple News. All this is right here. The World Health Organization or whatever that is. It's, geez. Okay, it's really easy to get sucked into that. So what are you doing to combat that? Are you sticking to the routines of the 12-week targets? Are you doing what is required to invest into yourself, to invest into your family, right? Feed positivity into your mind, into your soul. Number 2, right along with feeding positivity into your mind and soul is invest in your skill sets. Invest into your system. What are some of the things that you've been wanting to do that you haven't been able to do? This is where you hone in. Maybe it's those videos that you didn't complete. Maybe it's the autoresponder system that you only, sent out just one time to your clients. Maybe it's a set of videos that you've been trying to create for a while, your database, your CRM. Maybe it's reaching out to those people that need to hear from you. Here's a thought before I go to step number 3. This is where relationships really matter, because the people that need to buy and need to sell want to work with somebody they know, not some stranger. If you've been very transactional, where you didn't reinvest into your business, reinvest into the relationships, you just had the transaction and kind of just let them go, you may suffer. But those that have learned to really build a deep-rooted relationship with their clients are going to thrive exponentially. Okay. So maybe you haven't done that. Maybe it's the time right now just to reach out, see how people are doing. But this transactional thing is those are the ones that truly fall out. Those that have built relationships thrive during this time because they want to work with someone they know, like, and trust, not some stranger. So think about that. Maybe this is a time where you finally send out your private, your private messages, or not private messages, but some type of postcard where you go out and reach your clients just thinking about them. Brian Buffini style. Your notes. And number 3, don't shut down. Don't shut down. Open yourself up. I went out for a walk this morning with my dogs, and man, it's so beautiful. I mean, if I was stuck at home watching the news or on my phone, you don't realize these things. How beautiful the day was. And I went out there, I went for a little jog, and I opened myself up. My solar plexus, right? Come on, let this energy in. Because you've been through this before. And it's not somebody else, it's not your problem, it's somebody else's problem. I'm not saying, like, listen, we don't have to be aware of this, but don't take somebody else's problems. Don't take somebody else's statistic as your own. Open yourself up. What's coming to mind? Document it. Do it. So what are you getting from this? Because we've all been through this. I mean, think about what's going on around us. I mean, I think this is the last conversation I'm going to have on this. Because we can succumb to all this negativity. We can. And I want to make sure that we provide an environment of positivity where your number one asset is yourself. You need to stay strong mentally. Your business needs to stay strong. So do the things that will make you feel strong. Marketing will make your business feel strong. Working out will make your body feel strong. Reading, building your skill sets, right, will make your mind feel strong. All right, so who do we got? We got Isabel, Michelle, Felipe, Gabe, Celia, Madeline. Thank you all for joining me. Teresa, Isela, Carla, Rudy, Kaylin, Lonnie, Caroline, David, good morning. Rosie, good morning. Carmela, Bobby, Claudia, Jeanette, Patrick, Caroline, Nicholas, Lonnie. Fear or faith, you choose, right? And I had faith is a main thing here. Having faith in yourself. You're not like the rest. And after all this, I took some time and I filled out what I was grateful for. And there's a section of the 12-week targets that I fill out every day. And yesterday I put down, I am grateful for the deposits I've made all these years, where I'm healthy and strong, where I've done the right things. And I'm not playing, I'm not in this game of defense right now. I'm offense because of all these reps, all these things I've been preaching for years, that I've been living for years. Like, I'm grateful for that. And if you haven't started, if you haven't, done the things that we've been preaching here forever, it seems like, I want you to start now. Because as soon as this is over, there'll be something else in a few years. So build your immune system, the immune system for your body, for your family, for your business. And it's just a deposit. It's like, I'm so grateful for that. For the green smoothies. And that's the same thing I did this morning. I got up, I went out for a walk and a semi-jog with my dogs, and I had my green smoothie. I listened to John Asaraf on my podcast. It was great. Jermaine tells the exact number of cases in Arizona. Facts to avoid the media. All right, if you can let me know. I did it here quickly, and I said only like 12. But here's the reality of it. It's not like 12 people are now on a death sentence. They don't talk about all the people that actually survived. The cruise ship, like, everyone survived. Right? It doesn't mean it's a death sentence. Your body can fight it. Of course, there's no cure. Your body will fight it. Yes, we have to be concerned of those individuals that right now are sick from another disease. This could be very deadly. And we have parents, and I'm sure we have family members. I get it. We have to be concerned. They have to take greater precautions. But I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you right now. These days were so hard on us, but I couldn't believe what you did so quickly. You hustled without fear. Oh, those days, Carla. Oh my God, it's every time I think about it, right? And all we can do is rise above the noise of sheep, because we fell into that trap, and it was so hard for us. It was terrifying. And people were just letting go of their homes when they didn't have to, because they fell into that trap too. Fear is the enemy, and all these people are running scared, buying everything off the shelves. I will buy what I need and nothing more. I will keep going. There are currently 3499 cases with 66 deaths. It's a very small percentage. I am a firm believer that God will take care of us and always has. Is that worldwide? Only 13 cases in Arizona. How many people live here? Jeez, guys, come on. Now, your clients might be, well, I don't want to buy. Well, are they going to be, what's the alternative? What about if their landlord decides that they want to raise the rents 500%? Why not take action on your own home and low interest rates? There's people that need to buy and need to sell. Amen. Talent sets the floor. Character sets the ceiling. I love that, Felipe. Thank you. How many deaths have we had here? If anybody can look that up in Arizona. AZ, you forget the rest of the details of Abigail disconnecting the cord. When you start again and almost finished, I disconnected again by accident. Oh my God, I totally forgot about that. So after Madeline disconnects it, Carla comes in. I think this was not maybe a day later, a couple days later when I started again, and you happened to disconnect it as you were cleaning. Like Carla's thing, when she gets nervous, she goes into hyperdrive in cleaning, like spotless. Everything needs to be spotless. Well, she's vacuuming and disconnects it again. I swear, I broke down a few times. Many tears were shed. I'm not ashamed to tell you that. Many tears were shed. The frustration, the weight of it all. I was taking other people's problems and making it my own. But I had the courage to prevail. I had the courage not to shut down and listen to the sheep, to the minions. I love that, Carla. That was some time right there. I swear. I made things worse, though. I made things worse by not only making somebody else's problems, but creating my own in my marriage and blaming. It was tough. You yourself always comes first. Take care of you. Good stuff, Nick. Good morning, Susan. Vivian, my trainer texted me last night to see if I was going to come in today because of the virus. He said everyone canceled on him of it. I said I will be there and showed up this morning. The front desk guy said, welcome, and read my shirt, do the work. And my trainer said, one of few. Only myself and one other girl showed up. I thought, damn, I should go home because the gym was empty, but I stayed. Deserve to feel good, and working out does for me. Absolutely. We can't forget what makes us feel good, right? And we can't stop what got us here. We can't stop the momentum we're building, and this is a resistance. This is the direct thing we should expect. For a reaction, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So the economy's been doing good, and I don't know if it's politically motivated. A part of me does. Part of me feels like Wall Street's behind this. A part of this, governments are behind this to make us more fearful, right? Like when the 9/11 thing happened, and I don't want to get into this whole conspiracy thing, but how many of our rights did we give up after 9/11? What are we going to give up now through this coronavirus where we allow governments to dictate businesses and how they should run? They're saying, some bars and places should not have more than 50. So how is that going to make a difference? If it's viral, it's viral. Like, how is 50 versus 60 or 100 going to make a difference? I don't get it. Fear tactics, control. And we'll find out what's behind this, and we'll find out who's making money behind this. This is Madeline. I love you, Dad. Go, Dad. We are listening. I love you, baby girl. Live in the present, not in past or future. I love it. Sally, I refuse to live in someone's strategy of fear. All the deposit we have done for ourselves will help us through this. Taking precautions, but moving forward, yeah. Right? Taking precautions, yes, I get it. But not stopping. 0.003% chance of getting infected. 97.98 of recovery if infected. No deaths in AZ. We're all going to be all right. We're all going to be all right. Plain and simple. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Okay? So let's get after it. You have a job to do. Marketing, sales, systems, and be the leader out there. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Mindset Mastery, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day, everyone.